Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, and it is the fast of Esther, the day before Purim. Every year, we have a special holiday, a special fast called the Fast of Esther, commemorating the amazing heroic efforts of Esther to save the Jewish people during the times of the attempt to annihilate the Jewish people through Haman and Achashverosh. Now, there's something very interesting about Esther. If you follow the story carefully, you'll notice that in the first 3 chapters of the story of the Megillah, Esther seems to play a very passive role. She's not involved in making any decisions. Everything that's happening is happening to her against her will. She's taken by the king. She's not making any choices. She's being very passive. Mordechai is the one calling the shots. He's the general. And then, all of a sudden, in chapter 4, until the end of the Megillah, it changes completely. Mordechai fades away into the background, and now Esther is the general. She's calling the shots. She's making the decisions. She's moving the plot forward in a very active way. What changed? What was the difference between the end of chapter 3 and the beginning of chapter 4? So it was actually a very interesting conversation that the Megillah records that took place between Mordechai and Esther. See, Esther found herself in this unusual situation as being a Jewish woman in the palace, the wife of the king. And Mordechai comes to her and says, you know, the Jewish people are going to be destroyed. Haman has a plot to destroy the Jewish people. You're in the palace. You're the wife of the king. This is your moment, Esther. This is the opportunity. Who knows? Maybe it's for this very reason that Hashem orchestrated all of these events to see that you would be the queen in this moment when the Jewish people are in need. And Esther's not very convinced. She says, you know, there's protocol here. Let's take our time. I haven't been called for a while. If I go in before I'm called, the king could execute me, and then I won't be in this position anymore. And Mordechai looks at her and he says to her, listen, Esther, you don't seem to understand. You see, God is going to save the Jewish people. That's not the question over here. God runs history. He moves history forward from point A to point B. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen from you or through you, it's going to happen in a different way. The question here, Esther, is are you going to live up to your destiny? You were clearly put in this position for this moment. Your whole life has been leading to this. Are you going to seize the moment and the opportunity of your life to become the person that you have the potential to be and that you're destined to be? Or are you going to pass up that opportunity, let the salvation and the saving of the Jewish people come through some other mechanism, and you will fade into history? And there won't be a fast of Esther, and there won't be a book of Esther, and there won't be a Purim story that mentions you at all. It's up to you, Esther. It's not about whether or not God's going to save the Jewish people. That's going to happen. Don't worry. It's about you living up to your destiny. And at that moment, Esther is clearly inspired, and she says, okay, Mordechai, you're right. I'm going to take this responsibility, and she steps into her role. And she becomes the person that she was destined to be, created to be. And from that moment on, Mordechai is out of the story, fades into the background, and Esther now takes total control, running the entire rest of the story, moving the plot forward. And we learned something really amazing from this, because this is each and every one of us. We all have moments like this in our life. We all have a moment where we're called upon to step into ourselves, to fulfill our purpose and our mission. And we can choose, it's not about whether this is going to happen or not, whether this need is going to be taken care of. If it's something that needs to happen, it'll be taken care of some other way. It's about you and me. Am I willing to step into my role, into my destiny, to become the person that Hashem created me to be? And if I do, then I'm following in the footsteps of Esther, one of the greatest Jewish women in all of history. Think about it. It's amazing. Have a great day, everybody. And see you tonight at the Megillah reading in the parking lot of the L'chaim Center at 6:15. It's going to be great. Outside, honk your horn when you hear Haman. Join us. Don't miss out. See you tonight.